Hello and welcome to the TV show. I'm John.
And I'm
Um,
Scotto.
and obviously, we're continuing with our discussion of Serial Experiments Lain. On to episode 4, Religion. Now, this one kicks off with Lynn working on her Navi, which has grown quite a bit since the last time we saw it.
Right.
She's just amassing a computer collection all hooked together. And her father kind of peeks in the door worried.
Yeah, like he set all this into motion. He pretty much knew what was going to happen, what she was going to do,
Mm-hmm.
and yet he's worried.
And he wouldn't explain the psyche chip to her.
Right. He wouldn't help her,
He
explain what the chip was.
I'll see if I can do this. I think I can say this without giving anything away. He wanted to set her on the path, but not go too far or too quickly.
Okay. But that'd be with no guidance, of course she could go too quickly.
Well, that's true. That's true. And then we cut to a guy running into his apartment, freaking out, being chased by a creepy little girl.
Oh, yes.
Or not being chased per se, but running back and seeing a kind of a creepy little girl.
At least being haunted by it, yeah.
And then the creepy little girl turns into Lane at his apartment. And we find out that an online PvP game, kind of like a Quake arena style thing,
Yeah.
has mixed with this kids tag game. And it has led to people dying.
So
because, the online, the PvP game is kind of like a gotcha sort of thing, if you remember that movie. Mixed with a kids game, which, they're kind of crossing over and people are dying because of it. And Lane asks the guy at Cybernova about it. But she's not there. He hears her asking about it. He turns around, she's gone.
Yeah.
And the Phantoma, that's the PvP game. Those scenes get really trippy.
Oh yeah.
Because again, you have reality and the wired crossing.
Right. And I think it's towards the end where someone even uses telekinesis.
But before then, it actually ends up with the little girl getting shot in real life.
Yeah.
Because of the crossover. And another mention of the Knights. As Lane is watching the accidental shooter, the guy who shot the little girl.
But of course, it makes me wonder if they're actually just in the online world already, and not in the real world. That what we've been seeing here is actually the online world, and the suicide was her leaving, and she's getting these messages from the actual real world.
And Lane's father tells her not to confuse the wired with real life.
Right.
And she very creepily tells him the border isn't clear.
Yes.
So
that's what I was thinking was going on here. Was that we've actually may have even been in this online world all along. And it's the
And after that, we get more voices from the internet and a nice little info dump about the Knights, who were likened to a religion on the wired.
Yeah.
And then a random voice tells Lane, why won't you come here? And then we get the laser pointer scene that we've been alluding to. Lane sees a laser pointer on her wall, looks out the window, sees the G-men outside of her house with these goggles on that have they're kind of like Cyclops goggles.
Right.
They've got the little laser pointer out the front. Those are sight, actually.
If there's some sort of, thing that they could shoot through their lens to get that point, that would make sense.
I think it's just a sight, although that only works if it's on the gun.
Exactly, yeah.
So I don't know what the point of it is.
Other than to alert people that you're looking at them.
Exactly. So she looks out the window. I think I'm not sure if she opens the window or if it just breaks when she yells and tells them to go away.
Yeah.
But their visors break when she says this.
Right.
Off her face.
That's where it gets kind of like into the, we're not in the real world here. Because then, some extra powers and shit like that.
Of course, they leave as soon as the visors break off of their heads from from a 14-year-old girl yelling at them. And that's episode 4. Of course.
So
Okay.
yeah, I'm hoping this starts moving a bit more though, because now we're in the fourth episode, and it still feels like we're kind of introing here, and I'm hoping this starts picking up after this.
Well, at this point they're still trying to get you to question what's going on.
Right.
You know, to kind of make you wonder exactly what Lane's deal is and how are all these things happening. Admittedly, they maybe take a little too long to
Yeah.
establish
I mean,
what
it's
it
one thing to
actually
go
is.
for the first, 2 or 3 episodes, but now we're in the fourth. It's kind of like, all right,
Hmm.
the intro is done. We've got to start getting into what's going on. Unless it's like one of those long series like Fringe, where you're, looking at like,
Well, it's only
100
13
episodes.
episodes.
Yeah.
And there are a few well, there's one episode that is all what's sort of looking for recap. Right in the middle of
Okay.
the series is a recap episode. Um, so that doesn't really count. And there are episodes that are just backstory for
Yeah.
side plots for basically set up the universe. There are episodes that are just info dumps, like about Accelera, but it's a whole episode.
All right.
So there's a lot in this series. So um, like I said, it's notoriously complex. And that's it for episode 4. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't. Of course, we'll be continuing this at a later date. Until then, always remember, never forget, wherever you go in life, there you
There
are.
you are.